Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a massive paradigm shift in how truly successful organizations operate. We're going to explore the critical difference between reactive consulting, where you only call for help when there's a literal fire, and proactive strategic mentorship. We'll be taking a really close look at the model developed by Trade and Investment Bangladesh, or T&IB, led by founder MD Joinal Abdin, to understand exactly how continuous guidance completely transforms businesses.
So, what is the true cost of making critical business decisions totally alone? It's a pretty provocative thought, right? You see, a lot of entrepreneurs mistakenly believe that if they just have a great product, enough capital, or a really talented workforce, well, success is practically guaranteed. But in reality, countless businesses fail not because they lack potential, but because they're missing that strategic direction and experienced guidance when it matters most. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the modern business challenge. Then we'll evaluate the cost of going solo. After that, we'll break down the power of annual mentorship, take a peek inside T&IB's advisory services, and finally, look at realizing measurable business returns. All right, jumping right into Section 1, the modern business challenge and the complexities of today.
Now, T&IB deeply understands that every single type of business faces its own specific dragons. Think about it. Startups are out there burning through capital just trying to validate ideas, while SMEs are battling the daily grind of inconsistent cash flow and HR headaches. You scale up to manufacturing, and suddenly you're wrestling with massive production and supply chain issues. Or look at exporting. It's like being trapped in a maze of international market research and compliance. Add in foreign investors trying to navigate local taxation, or family businesses figuring out succession planning and governance, and wow, it's clear. The challenges are vast, they're diverse, and they are absolutely relentless.
Which brings us to Section 2, the costs of going solo, looking at the risks and consequences.
So here's the harsh truth. A single poor strategic decision can literally cost millions of taka and waste incredibly valuable resources. Of course, entrepreneurship naturally involves risk, but taking unnecessary risks from totally avoidable mistakes, that can severely cap your growth. Just think about it. Picking the wrong distribution partner or trying to enter an unsuitable export market can push your growth back by years. Or weak pricing strategies. They can completely hollow out your profitability, even if your overall sales volume is going up. The compounding financial and operational costs of trying to do this all in isolation are just staggering.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it illustrates a massive paradigm shift. Traditional, one-time consultancy is inherently reactive. Basically, you hire someone to fix a problem after the crisis has already happened and costs have completely skyrocketed. By that point, corrective measures are just way too late and incredibly expensive. But T&IB's annual mentorship flips this entire concept on its head. It's a proactive, continuous growth partnership that's specifically designed for long-term strategic prevention. The goal is to anticipate challenges and stop crises before they ever see the light of day.
Moving right along to Section 3, the power of annual mentorship and how it acts as a sustainable growth bridge.
An annual mentor is not just an occasional advisor. They actually become a trusted, continuous strategic partner. Because they sit completely outside your company's daily echo chamber, they can evaluate situations with total objectivity. They bring this incredibly valuable, unbiased viewpoint that helps you spot weaknesses and jump on opportunities way before your competitors do. So instead of learning the hard way through costly trial and error, business owners get instant access to years of practical experience to ensure accountability and really lower those long-term costs.
And hey, this isn't just theory. Global leaders are seeing the results. Take Mostafiza Rahman, founder and CEO of Canvas Inc. in Canada. He noted that working with T&IB has been a highly professional, value-driven experience, explicitly crediting their strategic insight, market understanding, and hands-on support for strengthening their engagement. What really distinguishes T&IB here is this highly practical, implementation-focused approach. They aren't just going to hand you some theoretical report that gathers dust on a shelf. They actually work closely with you to make absolutely sure those strategic plans become a reality.
Let's transition into Section 4, inside T&IB's advisory services, exploring their core pillars of support.
So the crucial point is that every successful business absolutely needs a clear strategy. T&IB works hand in hand with business owners to formulate practical, measurable roadmaps that actually align with your long-term objectives. This means diving deep into things like setting key performance indicators, figuring out your competitive positioning, and conducting thorough risk assessments. The whole idea is to ensure that every major decision you make is proactive and structured rather than just reacting to whatever the market throws at you that week.
Another massive pillar here is export development and market entry. Now, going global offers enormous opportunities, but the risks are equally huge. T&IB basically acts as your expert guide to getting export ready. They help manufacturers and exporters safely navigate these waters through buyer identification, figuring out international pricing, and even handling complex cross-border negotiations. It's all about minimizing the risks of entering international markets.
And of course, we have to talk about digital transformation because let's face it, it's no longer optional. But it's also definitely not one size fits all. T&IB tailors digital strategies like SEO, professional website development, and marketing automation specifically to your unique business model. They make sure that these tech initiatives aren't just flashy vanity projects, but that they translate directly into measurable business results and sustainable revenue growth. Additionally, for foreign businesses looking to tap into Bangladesh's fast-growing economy, T&IB provides this incredible coordinated on-the-ground support. Look, entering a new market without local expertise exposes you to immense risks. So rather than trying to piece together fragmented information, foreign investors get comprehensive support. We're talking market opportunity assessment, regulatory compliance, local partner identification, and even government liaison, all handled by a trusted local partner.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5. Realizing measurable business returns and tangible outcomes.
Committing to this mentorship model triggers a total transformation in how a business operates, and you can see it in these 4 key returns. First, you get clear strategic direction, finally abandoning random opportunities for real long-term value. Second, that empowers you to make much better, data-backed business decisions. Third, naturally, this leads to improved profitability because you're refining processes so you aren't just selling more, but actually making more. And fourth, it drastically reduces your business risks. You're shifting away from just relying on gut intuition to building a true, sustainable competitive advantage.
Ultimately, the cost of making avoidable business mistakes is almost always way higher than the investment required for expert guidance. Your business deserves a year-round strategic partner. So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Is your business currently running on hope, or is it running on strategy? If you are ready to stop guessing and start scaling with precision, reach out to T&IB using the contact details provided here to secure your future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy learning.